Hello, I'm Dr. Gary Arthur, and welcome to Lunch with a Doc. I'm a doctor of chiropractic in Laguna Beach, California. I've been practicing here since 1987. And we've been doing these Lunch with the Docs to just talk about different topics and different things of interest. A lot of our patients and friends have been writing in what they'd like to talk about. And one of the reoccurring things that people have been mentioning is that there's oftentimes a disconnect between a goal that is wanting to be realized and what is actually realized. So we can have a goal to see this or that happen in our life and even set out on a course of action to have that happen. But then again, does it happen? So we just thought we'd take a little time today and talk through some of this stuff. And there's my daughter, Maria.
Hello.
She's my third child, and there's only one Momo.
It's true. Thank you.
It's true.
That is me. The one and only.
So
where are we?
well, we are right here on the porch in front of our medical suite,
Gorgeous.
and it is a glorious day. I thought it was supposed to be pouring rain today.
Yeah.
That's what my wife said, and that's what her Doppler said. But then I saw all the chemtrails going by this morning, and I don't know if they're trying to keep the rain from coming to us or what's going on. I know there's climate control. That's a whole different topic.
Totally
We're not
different
going to go there
topic,
today.
yeah. But I do want to point out that this is our view for the IVs. So if you come get an IV here at our medical suite, you get to enjoy this lovely ocean view. It's
Yep.
just grand. And my office is right in there, so I get to enjoy it every day.
Yep. So, let's talk about goals in different areas of your life, and sometimes when it feels like there's a sabotaging mechanism or an obstacle to achieving something. We have a worksheet, and this worksheet is called an NET worksheet. Now, what is NET? I'm certified in NET. Here's some of my lunch. I'm going to use that as a paper holder. All right. NET is called neuro-emotional technique. We've spoken about it before. It is one of the most groundbreaking techniques that I think has ever been used in the healing arts. It was originated and built by Dr. Scott and Deb Walker, and it's based on 3,000 years of Chinese research. And the Yellow Emperor, the Chinese emperors, had the doctors gather data about people who were sick, but they also found out what were their reoccurring feelings. So they would ask people that, let's say this person had a large intestine problem, and these people reported that people with large intestine problems reported similar emotions, like living that their most common emotions were grief or sadness or yearning or feeling anguish or crying a lot. But then the liver person or the gallbladder person had a different profile. Those are the ones that were stuck in anger, resentment, frustration, aggression, indecision. So very interesting. So that's neuroemotional technique, and it's also been proven recently at the Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
They've
that was
done
a
a
great
lot
study.
of studies on it, and you can if you want to know more, you can go to netmindbody.com, and that'll take you to a couple introductory videos, and it will also show you their research videos that are little 6-minute videos. It's a nice, easy way to gather some data on what's really happening out there that is turning healthcare inside out.
One of the studies that they just did was really interesting. They did a study on 23 participants who had prior diagnosis of cancer. And so they took some of those participants and put them through NET treatments, and some they put on a wait list to do treatments after the study. But basically they took a brain scan of their brain before treatments, and they had them think about the first time that they were told that they had cancer, and which part of their brain lit up.
The stress response just lit up this inflammatory response in their brain, and when that inflammatory response happens in the brain, it depresses your immune system, it increases your blood sugar, it causes inflammatory loops. And it's, basically they were testing people that had post-traumatic stress disorder, because when they relived the stress, when the doctor came in and said, you have cancer, that's when they lit up. And then after 4 hours of neuroemotional technique over the next 4 weeks, then they did the exact same test and their brain didn't light up with a stress response at all. So,
but the people who didn't do NET didn't have that decrease in stress
it
response.
was still there.
Yeah.
So that
pretty
can be looked
amazing.
at. So here's one of our worksheets, and Mo, maybe you can just take and hold it up in front of it.
You guys can see the worksheet.
So basically what it says is these are the 9 basic areas of life, and when a person fills out one of these worksheets, they actually put in what areas of their life are most important to them and what would they like to be realizing in each one of those areas. So let's say, for example,
let's read out the 9.
Yeah, health, your spiritual life, your home life, your family life, your career, your financial, your recreation, your education, and your ethical components of your life.
It's good. So it pretty much covers it.
Yeah, so, if you put whatever you would put in whatever descending order of importance, you would write a statement to say what you'd really like your spiritual life to be, or your family life to be, or your health life to be, or how you'd like your home to be, or your finances, those things. And then we can actually test for congruency using manual muscle testing that's also been proven to be validated in a medical school, Thomas Jefferson University. You can actually do muscle testing, much like a lie detector test. When a person says something that they're congruent with, there's no stress response on that meter from those electrodes. But when someone whose name is Bill, they say that their name's Dan, the needle goes as the paper goes by. There's a stress response. And that's what ended up being able to be seen using manual muscle testing. Is a change. And then the other thing is, we would also have them list off their family members and close friends, people that are close to them over their life, and also talk about any significant traumas, any deaths, divorces, injuries, bad things that happened in childhood, and then list off what are the main reoccurring challenges, bad feelings, or self-sabotaging patterns that you have. And from there, we can start to really check people on their congruency to having happen in their life what they want to have happen.
So you want to do one on me?
Sure. Let me tell one story.
Okay.
There was a Dr. Seth Greenberg, and we have this article that we give to patients that want it. And if you're interested in it, you can call and we'll send it to you. But he worked with the LA Athletic Club, and a lot of the athletes that were wanting to qualify for the U.S. Olympic team in the sprints, I think it was Quincy Watts and somebody else, Jones. I have the article in there. But they muscle tested all of the athletes. So I'm okay with winning, strong. I'm okay with losing. Kaboom! They completely went weak. Now the idea is we want to be neutral, because there is a chance that we could run a race and actually win, or we could actually lose. So the reality was with these guys, when they did neuroemotional technique and got them congruent with losing as well as winning, there wasn't all this stress that they were carrying about, what if I lose? What if I lose? What if I lose? Well, all that stress interfered with their performance. And these guys went from the middle of the pack and they went into the top of the pack, and they both won gold medals. So it was really neat to see how neuroemotional technique helped them with their performance in athletics, as well as all the other things that we listed here. You can start seeing improvement. I have a patient who has had horrible stomach problems, and every time they got around a certain family member, their stomach problems started acting up. So that meant there was a mind-body response to there was an emotion that was perpetrated from being with this certain family member, and it happened all the time. So we found with him that when we started doing emotional clearing techniques, it really helped him, and we also put him on some supplements. And those two things, we've got him completely fixed in a relatively short amount of time, and it had been getting really bad. He lost a lot of weight. So it's just an example. Buses are coming. All right, so do you have something that you want me to check you on?
Yeah, to give them a little example. So A congruent, I might be.
Is there an area in your life that you'd like to be better or have it be different than it currently is?
Yes. Many. Let me think of a good one.
Why don't we test you on? Let me make sure you're here. Hold on. Good. You're testable. Say, I'm okay with being healthy.
I'm okay with being healthy.
Good. All right. I'm okay with having lots of energy.
I'm okay with having lots of
I'm
energy.
okay with being beautiful.
I'm okay with being beautiful.
Okay. See, you're congruent all this stuff.
How about I'm okay with reaching my dreams?
I'm okay with reaching my dreams.
I'm okay with reaching my dreams.
Okay. Is there a specific dream?
Let's see. I'm okay with writing an album.
I'm okay with writing an album. Say.
I'm okay with writing an album.
Okay.
I'm okay with producing and finishing an album.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm okay with producing an album.
I'm okay with producing an album.
I'm okay with
I'm
finishing.
okay with finishing an album.
She is a gifted musician and singer and songwriter and guitar player. But you have a charge on finishing an album.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
Okay. So now is where we use neuroemotional technique to go to the pulse points. In Chinese medicine, these are the pulse points. If you've ever had acupuncture done, they usually feel the pulses. So I want you to say it again.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
Again?
I'm okay with finishing an album.
Again.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
Oh, there it is. So it's in this system. Say it again.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
And we'll take it off.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
We'll put it on.
I'm okay with finishing an album.
That's where it's located. Now this meridian point is called the stomach, pancreas, spleen meridian system. And some of the emotions through Chinese medicine that are associated with that meridian and imbalance in the energetics of that system. Let's say, I'm going to have you say some things out loud. Low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
Lives through others.
Lives through others.
Over-concern.
Over-concern.
Hopelessness.
Hopelessness.
The concept of your hopelessness. Yeah. The concept of your hopelessness about finishing the album. What does that mean to you?
It means that I feel hopeless that I ever will finish an album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate.
Don't feel a lot of hope about that. It's like a dream out there, but could it ever really be?
Yeah. Could you ever really finish it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you could.
I'm sure I could.
But the feeling of hopelessness, can you get in touch with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's go back and see if there's a concept of an original time when your body took on a response to the feeling of hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that. The concept of an original event of you doing you having hopelessness. Yeah. Concept of conception to 10 years old. Concept of 10 to 20 years old. Concept of 10 to 15 years old. 15, 16, 17, 18. Concept of 17 years old, 18 years old, hopelessness. What would that have been?
18.
I mean, you got accepted to all these different schools.
But I was having a very hard time deciding which school to go to.
Hopelessness about deciding which school? No.
Hopelessness about knowing what I would want to do with my life.
No. I'm not getting a response to that. Hopelessness, let's just see if it's something about the material world. Material world, money, job, finances, career, places, or things. The concept of the relationship world. Okay, hopelessness in a relationship. The family you've come from, the family you're in, a friend. A female friend, the concept of a male friend. Hopelessness with a male friend at 18.
Well, this could be getting a little personal at this point.
You don't have to say any names. Can you think of someone that maybe you had some feelings were, but you had a sense of hopelessness that it wasn't maybe going to ever materialize?
Yes. Maybe no.
You got one?
Maybe.
Another one? That one. You remember who that one was? Okay. So what was the hardest thing for you about that? We're getting up close and personal here today, aren't we?
Yeah, maybe we could just leave that as a to be continued.
We could do that. So basically the way that works, she's starting to get a little emotional here. But it's interesting because sometimes, you know, if the child got bit by a dog, when it's an adult, he just doesn't like dogs. That's like a Pavlovian conditioned response, or B.F. Skinner conditioning. And so sometimes things happen to us earlier, and now it's actually playing out in other areas of our life, and we don't even realize it, don't even understand why. So here, you felt some hopelessness in some relationship with a male at 18, and that's now playing out, that hopelessness about actually having this ideal thing happen that you really want to have happen. But on some level, there's still this sense of hopelessness underneath it that's keeping you from feeling congruent to actually doing it, or maybe even taking action to actually do it. So we can work more on that.
Let's do that.
We'll continue that. But that's just an example. Basically, all the technique is she would now go back and she would put her finger on the acupuncture meridian point, and she would put her hand here, and she would go back and relive those feelings of hopelessness when she was 18. And then she would breathe into that, and you don't have to really talk it all out, because we're not psychologists, we're not psychotherapists, but this is a mind-body feeling, an emotional snapshot that she breathes into and feels, and allows herself to feel the feeling again while she's breathing and holding the point and holding her hand over the emotional centers of the brain in the frontal lobe. And then in the process, we would now check the statement again to see if she was congruent with "I'm okay with finishing my album." If not, we would continue going and continue checking until we got her 100% congruent with what her goal is. And that's basically how it works. So sometimes people have been in pain so long, it's like, I'm okay with living without pain. Kaboom, they are not congruent because their beliefs are telling them that that's not real, that it's not possible. So it's almost like there's a tabletop. Let's just say that this is a tabletop, and let's say that the tabletop is holding a belief system. Tabletop's holding the belief system that I can't live a pain-free life. Well, now they have all these feelings underneath it that are like the legs of the table that back up that feeling that they're not able to live a pain-free life. So therefore, you want to find what those feelings are, those emotional snapshots, and go back and delete them, delete them, delete them, delete them, delete them, so that belief system could actually fall, and the one that is more in alignment with what their goal is could actually now be the operating system. Kind of like your iPhone, and you upgrade to a new operating system that hopefully works better, not always with an iPhone, but hopefully it works better, and you start to be able to act out even better. So we wanted to do that today for you, just to talk to you a little bit about what's possible, how to prioritize your goals. If you ever want to come in, you can. We have some paperwork.
Do we want to go through the marching order steps?
Yeah, here's a quick and easy process. Let's say, for
we
example,
also have food coming from Bear Flag, because
yes,
today is Bear Flag Day. We love Bear Flag, so shout out to them. Awesome food. Ryan's bringing it for us in a few minutes. But in the meantime,
well, we have this. It's a marching order. The situation. What are your main challenge? What's your main challenge? What's the goal? What would you like it to be? Why are you motivated to have that happen?
determine your why.
Yeah, determine your why. And what are the obstacles? What obstacles stand in the way? And then what are the root causes of those obstacles? And then from there, you basically now, you determine, you start taking action, and then you measure results. How are we doing? And then you change your strategy as needed, and then take action again, and you repeat it. And that's how you have a loop to finally achieve what it is that you want to. So as I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to take one of these because there's something I really want to work on right now. I have a situation, I have a goal, I'm motivated, I have some obstacles or hesitations. I need to figure out what the root cause really is, and then I need to take action and engage and give myself some marching orders, and then get them done, and then measure my results, change my strategy as I need to. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep this. Was I doing this for myself?
Maybe. I think we both have some stuff to work through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what? You know, it's interesting how there can be things that, you know, we really want to do, and we just kind of think, why am I not getting there? You know, when we get so frustrated with ourselves sometimes of like, I should be farther along, you know? But when we kind of take a deeper inner look and be like, whoa, maybe there's a whole mental, emotional, like, worldview that I'm believing and interacting with that's actually keeping me from that success. And if we don't really come to terms with what that is, we're just going to keep feeling frustrated and confused, like, why can't I get there, you know? But it's really our own block that's keeping us from getting there. So if you can kind of tap into what that is, it's super helpful. And NET has just been, for me, an amazing tool to help figure out what those things are and clear them so that I can move forward. And it works in so many spheres of life, like we talked about, you know, relationships, finances, career, health, whatever your goals may be. What's the block and how can you get there? So
it's pretty fun, and it's been amazing to see people's lives change. I'll tell one last story because I love telling stories. I had a famous author who had written a book, and she became world-renowned, sold, I think, 5 or 6 million copies. And she said I can tell the story, and I could even mention her name, but I'm going to hold off on that for right now. But now she's this big celebrity, and she's going around doing book signings. And at one point in that process, her son was skiing in amongst trees, and he was killed. And her life really came undone. And now her behaviors started to really change. She wasn't living healthy, and she had a deal with her publisher that she was supposed to do 2 more books. They signed her for 2 more books, and there was a deadline that she had to get this book done. But she had come down to the surf and sand, and she started writing the book. But when she got to the chapter on where her son had died, she could not move on. And so I saw her for an hour a day, 5 days in a row, and the book had to be done. We started Monday, and then we ended up Friday. The manuscript had to be to the publisher the next Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
And so we went through and deleted so many files and so many hurt feelings, and just did some really great work together. And then by the time that last visit was done on Friday, she went home and wrote all night and stayed up and just wrote and finished the whole book. And then
Wow.
she had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to just relax and enjoy the beach.
Oh my gosh.
It was really
That's
cool.
unreal.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Wow, what a good story.
Yeah.
Victory.
Yep.
It's possible.
So Bear Flag food has just arrived.
Ryan!
Yeah!
He's brought the food.
With the aioli.
He has the glory for us.
That's a good delivery to get.
Yay! Here we go. We gotta show them how beautiful this food is.
This is a blackened yellowtail with white rice and avocado. This is yours, Dr. Glove.
Dr. Glove. Lebanon.
And this
Here's
is
me.
Mireille's. Pokey, white rice, avocado, aioli.
Glorious. So,
Pretty dang good, you
as
guys.
we eat, I have a fun surprise for all our viewers out there. So, this is a new thing we're going to be doing on Lunch with the Doc to give you viewers a really good,
And underneath the verse.
what would it be called? Like a
They'll blow away.
step to take from all that you've just heard. How can you implement this for you? And we're gifting you guys with a little special.
A little
So if you call in within the next 2 days, so that'd be between today. Oh yeah, 1 day. Okay, sorry. If you call in within the next 24 hours, so we'll give you all Thursday tomorrow, and you mention Lunch with the Doc, you want to schedule an NET session with Dr. Gary or Dr. Lisa, you'll get 10% off your visit. So call in by the end of Thursday, March 21st.
I'm gonna make that even better.
Okay.
We will do a complimentary NET session.
Whoa.
You can fill out the paperwork in advance. Come in. We'll do a 15-minute complimentary consult and let you experience it yourself, free of charge, just on us.
Wow, that is very kind.
From 10% to complimentary.
Lovely.
But wait, it's free.
It's free. So, call in at 949-497-2553. Mention Lunch with the Doc. Schedule an NET complimentary visit, and we're excited to see you soon. So,
Signing off.
You are amazing.
Amazing.
Have a lovely Wednesday.